This is the Cinematography for Actors podcast.
More than a podcast, CFA is a vibrant community devoted to bridging the gap between talent and crew. Each week, our show offers transparent, insightful conversations with industry leaders. We unveil the magic behind the scenes, from candid discussions about unique filmmaking processes to in-depth technical exploration.
Join us in unraveling the intricacies of filmmaking one episode at a time. It's more than just cameras and lenses over here. We aim to inspire, educate, and empower as we peel back the curtain on the art of effective storytelling.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks. All right. As a DP, I know purchasing gear can kind of be a nightmare. Whether you're talent or crew, finding technical solutions to any of your problems can be very challenging. And what's even harder is knowing where to go. So we have an answer for you. Head over to BandPro, one of our incredible sponsors here at CFA. Whether you're looking for high-end cameras and lenses or looking for guidance on what is needed to get started on this equipment journey of yours, BandPro has the gear and team that you need to thrive in your own career.
They are the exclusive representative of Ingenue's complete cinema line for all of North and South America, and their customer support is fantastic. Not only do they have a great team to answer any product question you might have, but they also have a talented team of in-house technicians that you can actually talk to get your equipment back up and running.
Which is really important, especially if you're on set. So,
Yeah.
Bonus. Go to bandpro.com or stop in at their location in Burbank, and please make sure to say hi from CFA because we love them
Hi
so very
from
much.
us.
Yeah, hello. Thanks, everyone. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Cinematography for Actors podcast here live at AFI FEST in the VIP Lounge, the TCL Chinese 6 Theaters. I am one of your co-hosts on the couch, Indiana Underhill, and then I have Haley Royal sitting across from me.
Hi.
Hi. And joining us today, we have two filmmakers from the film Wake. We have director and co-writer Conner De Mita. De Mita?
Yeah.
Yes, I did it. And then let's try this. Ari. Yes, Ari Jacobson, co-writer. I can never pronounce the name Ari for some reason, and I apologize to Aris around the world. I will get better at it.
On behalf of all Aris, where you're forgiven.
Okay, thank you so much. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
I am really stoked to talk about Wake because I know from hearing the notes, it is like a personal film, and I would love to kind of dive in. Before we dive in, though, can we get a bit of a log line? What's it about for context?
Yeah, it's Wake is about a young guy named Cooper. He's lived alone with his mom for most of his life, and it starts at his mother's wake. He's just lost her, and his community suddenly reaches out to him to take care of him, and he has a very sort of he's very scared of care, so he freaks out, decides to try and run away, live alone in the forest. But every night, members of his community inexplicably sleepwalk out to him. And he can't figure out what's going on, but it's essentially his community is kind of helping him to confront his grief, his fear of connection, and his fear of care.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a bit surreal, a bit horror, you know.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And so how did you guys pair up for this project?
Yeah,
How did that initially happen?
we've been wanting to work together for
Yeah.
a while, like throughout our AFI experience. We've been friends the whole time, and it just never happened. So Conner came to me with the script, and I loved it, and I was like, yeah, been wanting to work with you, so it was kind of a no-brainer, yeah.
Wow. And so what is the co-writing process like for you two? What's your workflow?
In this case, yeah, I came with the script that I think, it was one of those scripts that I wrote, started at midnight and finished at 6 a.m. And I was like, there's a script, I'm done. So it was very unpolished, and Ari's an incredibly talented screenwriter. So yeah, I think the first step was just bringing that sort of very raw thing to Ari, and then after that we went back and forth, I think, on drafts.
Yeah, it's weird. I think like sometimes when I co-write with somebody, I like to pass back and forth, but it always depends on who I'm working with and how we work together. So for us, it was actually, we did a lot of writing together.
Yeah.
In the same room.
Yeah. Yeah, it's different phases. As we're trying to get more polished, I think that was the main thing, is just to be in the same room really helped.
Wow, how beautiful. And then, so this is about, obviously based on some of your personal experience, Conner, and you cast your brother as the lead actor.
Yeah.
And so what was the decision-making process around that? Is he an actor already?
Yeah,
Okay.
so I'm very fortunate that he's a super talented actor, and he's had a great career so far. Been a little quiet right now during the strike, but
Yes.
Yeah, he's super talented, and fortunately, he also has pretty innate understanding of the experiences that were kind of the basis for the film. Um, I growing up. My mom had substance abuse problems, and I kind of took care of her, and didn't really realize how backwards that was until I got older. Um, and realized in that process of kind of unpacking all that I had developed a strong fear of care, and so that was the basis for the thesis statement of the film, and so getting to work with my brother on it was, I mean, it's great. It's just so quickly we could just drop into, remember that moment, remember this moment, or um, it's a little bit, it can be a little bit touchy also because it is all about, in large part, it's about our family and about our mom. Um, but yeah, it's great to have that sort of emotional, like we're just already on the same page.
What was important for your heads of department when working so closely with your brother, who you can kind of like just drop in, as you said? How did you communicate to heads of departments so that they were kind of on the same page throughout, because they don't have the ability to like drop in immediately with your DP or production designer or producers or Ari himself? Kind of what are the notes given, or how is that communication so that you can kind of be on the same page?
Yeah, I think it actually probably started, like developing that language for communicating. It started with the script, because we had to find ways to articulate the feelings, which are kind of, it's a bit therapy-esque. You have to find ways to articulate the feelings that don't just make sense to you. So yeah, I mean, a big way to communicate with especially the department heads, was like breaking down moments, breaking down decisions, turning points in the story, what it means to the characters, very much charting the path, especially through the character, and communicating that to the department heads. And they're also talented that they know, like, oh,
Yeah.
when we're making this beat switch, we really need to see something different in the light, or
Yeah.
we need to move this way with the production design. Yeah.
Fantastic.
I want to know if there's anything that you knew from the beginning you didn't want to sacrifice, because as we know, short film, there's a lot of stuff you have to sacrifice a lot. Is there anything that you were really willing to go to the mat for?
Yeah, there was a few things. The film, it's somewhat surreal. I mean, it's about a guy who basically he wants to, consciously he wants to be alone. He wants solitude, but he needs community so badly that his unconscious mind is summoning people to him. So there's a bit of there were a lot of like surrealistic images and things that I really wanted in there.
There's a lot of ambiguity to it, and
Yeah.
I think we kind of knew that we wanted that.
Yeah, and it's a hard like tightrope walk to kind
Totally.
of make sure that you're not sacrificing clarity, but you're still getting that sense of just not giving everything away, letting someone interpret the film in an emotional way. That was the big thing. And also there was we wrote a rabbit into the script, and they really wanted us to take it out, but we wouldn't do it.
We got the rabbit in.
Yeah.
Aw.
And did you use a live rabbit?
Yes.
We did, yeah.
Nice.
And
God,
it
it
almost
sounds
ran
like-
away.
Oh, it sounds like me and my love for chickens. I'll just put anything I can possibly
Yeah.
find chicken related into anything. Now, Ari, for your writing process, do you have a lot of experience with co-writing, or was it really, and like bringing your own voice into it, or your own writing style, or was it coming in with the approach of like, how do I adapt into the narrative? What was kind of the thought process?
Yeah, I've definitely co-written a bunch with people, and it is always a little different when it's not your story that you're coming in with. But I did have a lot to connect to personally in this story. The themes of like grief, I lost a parent when I was young, so that I connected well to that. So it was pretty easy to jump into it. And Connor's a good friend of mine. We had talked a lot about his experience. So yeah, it wasn't too hard to be able to find that personal connection.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And what are you hoping the biggest audience takeaways are for this film?
I think the number one thing is just, I mean, I love horror movies. I love, that genre, horror adjacent stuff. And I've always thought the scariest thing in the world is other people. But as I've gotten older and, hopefully matured a little bit, I think I've realized like, oh, you really need other people. You can't live without connection and without mutual care and that kind of thing. And, no matter how eerie and uncomfortable it is, I think it's an essential part of the human experience. I guess that's like, I know that's kind of grandiose, but
No,
that's
yeah.
the sort of emotional core of the film that I hope people come away with.
Yeah, for sure. I think there's a lot of, as strange as the film is and as ambiguous as it is, there's a lot of really universal themes that I think people can connect to, in those themes of grief and, not wanting to accept help from others, wanting to wallow in your grief, and not get better. Sometimes it's easier to do that. So yeah, I think there's that people can connect to in it.
Wonderful. Well, we have to wrap things
have
up,
to wrap
unfortunately. But it was such a pleasure to have you. Once again, we have 2 filmmakers from the film Wake that actually showed yesterday on October 27th at 2 p.m. Do we have any upcoming festivals that people can view things at?
We just did Screamfest a week ago.
Hell
so
yeah, congrats.
I can't announce anything else yet, but soon.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, you can catch Wake soon at some
Fingers
festivals.
crossed
Yes.
you find it.
Thank you so much. We had Conner De Mita, director and co-writer, and Ari Jacobson, also a co-writer. Thank you so much for joining
Thanks,
us.
you
Thank you guys.
guys.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for watching
everyone.
or listening. Bye. Join us in bridging the gap between talent and crew. Start by subscribing on your preferred podcast platform. Sign up for our newsletter to stay up to date on vendor discounts, community events, new podcast releases, and you can educate yourself through our free course releases on YouTube.
It all starts at cinematographyforactors.com, and if you like this episode, consider leaving a review to make it easier for fine folks just like yourself to find us. We have some super exciting news. CFA has teamed up with We Make Movies to offer you a discount on production management services, including access to comprehensive production insurance, workers' comp for your next shoot. All you have to do is visit wemakemovies.com/insurance and use code CFA23 on your intake form for 10% off your quote.
Also, we've just partnered with We Audition, which I'm sure you know I'm very excited about, to offer you 25% off your membership. Use code CFA25 to get that membership for only $7.50 a month or $75 a year.